on this episode of Leepu and Pitbull.
Watch the clock.
I'm watching.
The guys attempt to turn a beat-up 87 Oldsmobile Cutlass
My kid's scooter's faster than this.
into a drag car for Pitbull's boat racing buddy.
It's got to be unique.
You just lit the fuse.
I love it.
But Pitbull can't resist a wager.
Boat race. I got no throttle.
I gotta get this boat done. It's more important right now.
And Leepu's had enough.
The Cutlass will never get done in time. I have nothing to say. I'm speechless.
There's nothing more American than a custom car. But today, custom means expensive. I'm Steve Pitbull, mechanic by trade. My dream? Make one-of-a-kind cars, but make them affordable.
Body work? I don't do body work.
How? Meet Leepu.
The hammer made the world.
He's a car designer from Bangladesh I first saw online. He takes old junk scraps and builds unbelievable cars by hand.
This is my paintbrush, and these are my sculpting tools.
Nobody in America builds stuff like this.
I'm a simple guy with a big dream to be the greatest car designer in America.
So I brought him here to do things a little differently
Bangla way.
and make both of our American dreams come true.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Leepu, let's rock.
At Pitbull Motors, the guys head out to see their next custom car job.
Back in action.
Pitbull's buddy Dave has told him he's got a surprise waiting in his garage.
So who's this guy?
He's a long-term friend of mine. He knows his cars. This guy's no joke. Dave and I were always smack talking. All of a sudden, he's got a job for us. Gotta be a catch. All right, what did you call me over for? I know you got something up your sleeve here.
Dave and his son Daniel have the duo's next job under wraps.
Here's the baby, right here.
Trying to hide it from me. You knew I'd drive right by when I
It's
saw
a
it.
surprise.
That bad, huh? Let's see what we got.
Let's see what you think. That's a 1987 Oldsmobile Cutlass.
Wow. Oldsmobile Cutlass. This car's a piece of crap. So, what are you looking to do to the car?
Gotta have some big power. You wanna be able to race it on the street, race it on the strip, something I could drive to the track.
Really? A race car? This is a Saturday night car.
Dave wants Pitbull to turn this old Cutlass into a custom race car.
It's a tall order.
You betcha.
And he has a challenge for Leepu, too.
It's gotta be unique.
Yes.
One of a kind.
That's what I like about it. Unique. Unique is my favorite word in the whole world. It's gonna be one-off, you know?
You just lit the fuse.
I love it. It's like music to my ears.
Saying make it unique to Leepu is like giving my 10-year-old son a chainsaw and telling him to cut the lawn. Right now, we gotta go drive this car. Then I'll come back to talk to you about how much money I'm taking out of your pocket.
Keys are in it.
Let's go, Leepu.
Have fun.
See you in a little while. We'll try to keep it in one piece. Oh, sounds good.
Watch him hit his truck on the way out.
The 1987 Cutlass Supreme was Oldsmobile's luxury line in the Cutlass family.
The Oldsmobile back in the day was one of the biggest car makers. You know, they were like the coolest thing to have in the 60s. But it's not old enough to be like a classic.
Right.
It's like an old man's car.
You know what? I like this car. I can make this car really look good.
I mean, this thing's a dog.
But we should turn into a fox.
Leepu loves Dave's Cutlass challenge, but with only 140 horsepower, Pitbull knows this car was built for comfort, not racing.
It drifts all over the road,
Oh, man. Hey, hey, hey.
has no power, bad brakes, and handles like a slob.
Oh, Steve! Steve, come on!
You got plenty of
You gotta throw
steering.
me out of the window!
It's just got no suspension.
Oh,
If Pitbull's going to build a mean dragster, he needs to know exactly what he's working with.
What do you think? A quick quarter mile? You could time me on that phone. Whoa! That's your video game high score, huh?
Yeah.
My daughter's got that game. I tried playing it, I just can't figure it out. The kids are so much better at it than I am.
the smoke coming out of the engine?
Oh, I forgot I was doing a burnout.
No!
Pitbull finally releases the brake and hits the quarter mile.
Watch the clock.
I'm watching.
A respectable time is anything from 9 to 12 seconds. and that's already passed.
And quarter mile. What was that, 18 seconds?
Yeah.
Jeez.
18 seconds means Pitbull must cut the Cutlass's track time in half.
This is sad. Oh, my kid's scooter's faster than this.
Needs a lot of work.
You know, I'm thinking that we need to add a lot of power to really help it climb out of the shell of being that old man's car.
Pitbull has a plan for Dave's build, but power doesn't come cheap.
So, what do you think?
Man, this car's seen better days, man.
Think it was gonna be easy?
You know, it's one thing when you start with a car that's here and want to make it here. You're starting with a car that's here and you want to bring it all the way up.
It makes it all the more fun.
You know cars. We don't have to play games. All day long, there's 25 grand in this car to do it right.
Nah, you know that's too much.
So what are you thinking?
In my head, probably 15.
Yeah, all right. Engine, 75, 35 tranny, got interior. We're here at 15. Now, if we took a saw and cut it off, which Leepu can do,
Which I'm sure
we'd be
he can.
fine.
What do you think? I think 20 is a fair number.
What are you thinking?
I think we should go for it.
Might as well just call it 20.
Deal.
20 grand to turn an old Cutlass into a unique drag racer. But Dave has one more challenge.
I gotta make a little wager with you.
Oh, yeah?
A boat race.
When Pitbull's not building powerful cars, his passion is racing even more powerful boats.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
And his biggest rival is Dave.
Where is he? We're way ahead of him, kicking his ass.
Last season, Dave won every race. And he knows Pitbull can't resist the chance to get even with a bet against the price of the build.
You win, you get an extra 1,000. I win, I take off 1,000.
Money in the bank. Let's do it. Done deal, man. Done deal. Forget the money. It's all about taking his pride and putting it in my pocket.
We'll beat him, $1,000 off the price. And he'll be aggravated for the rest of the week. Remember, unique.
Yes, that's what I like about it.
All right, Unique. Get behind the Unique steering wheel and follow me uniquely home. See you at the shop.
Back at the shop, Leepu and Pitbull introduced the team to Pitbull Motors' first ever drag car build.
Guys, come on. Check this out. This car is gonna be a street legal race car.
Oh, yeah. This belongs to a friend of mine who's a big-time drag racer. Let's just think about power. Power, power. We have to make a beast out of this.
So we want to go big power?
Big, but it's got to be street legal.
How about junkyard 5.3 Chevy?
The crew know 5.3-liter Chevy truck motors are popular with drag racers.
It's super easy to put those turbo setups on those old 5.3s.
They love it.
Exactly.
The turbo will give Dave's Cutlass the speed it needs on the quarter mile. But Pitbull's first trick to make this car quicker isn't adding power.
Get all this garbage out of this car. Start rocking. Power to weight ratio is critical. The more weight we get off the car, it's like having 3 horsepower.
Every 100 pounds the crew remove from the Cutlass will save a tenth of a second on the quarter mile.
That's what the... Sorry.
500 pounds later, the car is already half a second quicker.
Rock and roll.
The next morning, the crew arrived ready to transform the Cutlass into a drag racer. But there's no sign of Pitbull. He's at his warehouse, concentrating on his latest passion project,
Ooh, that was close.
his boat race with Dave.
You know, we're racing for $1,000, Dave and I. But you know what? That money doesn't mean much to me. What means much to me is beating him. It's all about the pride. It's all about the bragging rights. It's all about him knowing I beat him on the water.
Pitbull's lost their last 5 races, but this time he has a secret weapon to turn the tables.
See, the reality is Dave thinks that he's racing my old boat. That's why he thinks it's in the bag. He's just unaware I got a new boat. The last time I saw Dave in the water, I had 600 horsepower. This engine here is a 638 cubic inch tall deck, big block Chevy, and produces almost 900 horsepower.
Motorboat racing began in the early 20th century. Back then, boats hit top speeds of around 20 miles an hour. But today, Dave's race boat can top 100. And it's Pitbull's mission to modify his new motor to match his arch rival's speed on the water.
If it doesn't break 100 miles an hour, I did something really wrong and lost a lot of money. Right now, that car's gonna have to wait a little bit. This is first. It's gotta come before that car.
Back at the shop, the Cutlass build is at a standstill. Leepu is struggling to find inspiration for the unique car Dave's asked for.
Nothing is happening. This car is just not listening to me. It's not listening to me. Can't do anything.
The mechanics are at a standstill too. And with Dave's drag racing season starting in just 4 weeks, Leepu is worried the car won't be ready without Pitbull's 100% involvement.
Buddy,
Hey, Leepu.
did you see Steve?
Haven't seen him all day. Why?
He's supposed to be working on the car, on the Oldsmobile. And I don't see him.
Well, the only other place he could be is maybe at his warehouse.
Leepu heads 3 blocks over to find Pitbull deep into his boat fix.
What the heck is going here?
But I gotta race Dave. I'm not gonna let him beat me on the water. It's not gonna happen.
Who's gonna build the engine over there?
Well, I'll get that done. Don't worry. Just a little more time. I'm gonna tighten this thing up. I'll be right over there.
Okay, don't take too long. All morning, I'm looking for Steve. He's working on his boat. You know what? I like the boat. I like this line. It's beautiful.
Kind of like an airplane.
Very fast, long nose, right? It looks very aerodynamic.
Pitbull's boat has awakened the designer in Leepu. He's found the unique look he's been searching for.
I got my inspiration. The Oldsmobile will be aerodynamic, like a boat. I have to go back to the workshop right now.
The crew are customizing an '87 Oldsmobile Cutlass for Pitbull's buddy Dave.
I like this line.
And Pitbull's boat has given Leepu the inspiration for his unique race car design.
The Oldsmobile will be aerodynamic, like a boat. Adam! Adam!
Yeah.
Hey, come on, let's start the design work.
What do you mean?
The car, the design.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You know what you're doing?
Yes, man. All right. Dave said he wants a unique Leepu car, and that's what he will get. You know, it's gonna be like this, just like this, this, and this. Serious aerodynamics.
Leepu sets to work on his boat-inspired design by visualizing his lines directly onto the car.
That's something that differentiates Leepu from other people, is that he can see in his mind's eye where it's gonna head when other people think, like, this guy's nuts. Sit back, because this dude's about to do some serious stuff.
With no drawings or plans, Leepu cuts out 2 rectangles of sheet metal.
Tack it on.
Once they're attached, it's time to create the boat-shaped nose.
That's it.
With one side shaped, Leepu must make the other side symmetrical.
Where is the paper?
And to do this, he uses an old boat builder's trick.
Trace it out, just like that. Keeping the baseline here.
A paper template gives him the exact shape.
So all I gotta do now, it's very simple, just like making a boat. Just trace this side out. Now, just flip it over, this side, and draw the line. This is done.
All that's left to do now is cut. And Leepu's unique design emerges.
Looks good.
Good?
Yes. Yes.
Starting to look like a boat. I feel like I should be wearing flip-flops and a bathing suit.
It's 5 days into the 4-week build, and Pitbull makes his first appearance at the shop. But he's not come to start work on the Cutlass. He's had a tip-off about a possible scrap deal.
These flatbeds know that I'm in between the scrapyard and where they get their cars from. And they stop all the time because they know I usually pay a little more for scrap.
This time, it's a beat-up old 1966 Chevy Biscayne. And it's caught the mechanic's eye.
This is like American classic right here. No, it doesn't get more American than this unless you're stuck in apple pie in a trunk.
The 66 Biscayne was a no-frills cousin to the Chevy Impala, offering middle-class families a stylish but affordable ride.
You just always think, at one point it was new and someone loved that car. Someone washed that car on Sundays. That car was someone's pride and joy.
Steve, dude told me $100 and we keep it.
Pitbull's already finding ways to justify the $100 price tag.
Oh, yeah, baby. Big score, the original owner's manual in the original plastic. Wow, man. If I take this stuff to a swap meet and find a guy with a 66 Biscayne or Impala, he is gonna pay top dollar for this.
But the real money in this classic is its original parts.
Grab me that horn, please. Oh, look at this. Some guy somewhere needs this for his car. That's a deal. We're gonna chop it up. It could bring 1,000, 2,000 in parts. Where's the tow truck driver? Lance! I got some money for you.
Not a problem.
$100 buys Pitbull a 50-year-old classic.
Just can't pass up on a good deal.
Now at last, he has a job for the mechanics, but it's stripping down the Biscayne.
This is too much. The Cutlass will never get done in time.
Leepu might be worried about the Cutlass, but Pitbull's thoughts are firmly on his boat race.
This race is about pride. And pride right now is more important than me being at that shop. Because if I go back to that car, I'll never get this done. And then next thing you know, Dave will own me. And Dave's not owning me on the water. That I can guarantee you. It's time to do a little prop change.
Pitbull must pull out all the stops to match his opponent's top speed of over 100 miles an hour.
Props are so critical. You can buy the same 5 propellers out of a box from the same manufacturer. They will all perform differently in a boat. Now, I know from past experience, I could put this prop on the boat and lose 10 miles an hour. Could put this one on and gain 10 miles an hour.
Pitbull's hoping his prop will give him the edge in the race.
Man, that could be a problem.
But an oil leak could completely blow his chances of winning.
That's pretty bad. It's looking like gear oil. The feed line from the reservoir is leaking. Now I gotta get back in there, which is a job and a half, to tighten that up. It's gonna take me longer to get this thing together than planned, so the guys at the shop aren't gonna be happy. What can you do?
Back at the shop, Brian and Colin are under orders to strip the 66 Biscayne, but they can't bring themselves to tear this classic apart.
This car's not something you see every day. You know, it's a piece of history.
I'm definitely in love with this car, but we want to get it started, you know, make sure it's going to run before we can fix the brakes and whatever else it needs. And
I bet if we got this thing running and driving, we convinced Steve to keep it.
The Biscayne still has its stock 6-cylinder engine. It was known for reliability, but this motor's nearly 50 years old.
start this thing up.
So I try to start it. Nothing's happening. The gas stinks. It's probably 10, 20 years old.
If they can't get the Biscayne started, it's only good for scrap parts.
Ready?
Yeah. Brian's spraying the starter fluid in there. I'm turning it over. I am determined to save this car.
Wow.
I can't believe it runs that well.
Like I didn't even do anything in the carburetor and it's full of stale gas.
50 years and a tank full of old gas can't stop this motor from living up to its reputation.
They just don't build them like this anymore.
I want to get some wheels on this thing, fix the brakes, and cruise around.
But fixing up the Biscayne isn't part of Pitbull's plan.
Uh-oh. Here comes trouble.
What is this? What are you doing? I told you to get that car stripped.
The mechanics are under orders from Pitbull to strip down a junkyard Chevy Biscayne for parts.
Gonna start this thing up.
Instead, they're starting up its 50-year-old engine.
Here comes trouble.
What is this? What are you doing? They're supposed to be taking this car apart.
Well, you're out playing with your boat. We didn't have anything to do, so we
I'm not
played.
playing with my boat.
Come on. We got it running.
I can't believe it. I dig it. They did it because they love to do it. They did it because they want to do it. They're like me. Whether it be my boats or my race cars, I just love making them go.
If we put a little time into this, we could sell this thing as a running car.
And if Pitbull needs any more convincing, Colin and Brian know exactly what to say.
This thing as a driver is worth way more than parts.
And I got the papers for it. Got to be worth some money, huh?
Exactly.
All right, fine. I got a boat to fix. Do what you got to do.
Pitbull's greenlit the Mechanics Passion Project, their very own classic car restoration. But passion projects are the last thing on Leepu's mind.
Every day, I come into the shop, and Steve is nowhere to be seen.
For almost a week, he's been working solo on $20,000 worth of business, turning customer Dave's '87 Cutlass into a drag racer.
I need to talk to him right now. I'm really worried about the build. We don't have the engine for the car yet, and you were spending all the time on the boat?
I got it under control, man. I have a plan. He's all worried. He's all worried like he's me.
The car is sitting down here doing nothing. Guys are working somewhere else, and I'm working my ass off. Come on, it's not fair.
All right, look, here's the deal. I know what we got to do. It's in my head.
Your plan better be working.
It's going to work. Don't you worry. Man, some people just have to relax. Pitbull's got a plan.
Pitbull hits the road, and he's finally back on the job.
You know, Leepu's worried that I'm not moving fast enough on the Cutlass. He's worried too much.
He's had a tip-off that a local junkyard has the 5.3-liter Chevy engine he wants to start his big power build. But in true Pitbull style, he has no intention of paying for it.
So I'm sorting through my junk pile in the back, and what do I stumble across? This big, giant SSR chassis. So my plan is take it to the junkyard and see if I can trade it up for an engine for this Cutlass.
The SSR chassis is worth around $1,500 in parts, and Pitbull's hoping that'll be enough to strike a deal.
Well, here's a 5.3 for you.
300 horsepower truck motors like this are popular in budget performance builds because with just a few modifications, they can handle a big turbo boost.
All the little odds and ends, the harness, the computer, everything I need is right here to make a lot of power. Cheaply, no less.
How are you, Stevie? What's happening, guys?
I got that 2006 SSR rolling chassis.
Okay.
I want to do a straight-up swap for the engine, harness, computer, all that stuff. They have the exact engine we need. Let's just hope I have the chassis they want. It's like brand new, all the pieces you need. I think I'm doing you a favor, to be honest with you, for that engine.
You know what? I'd like to see a little bit of cash.
You see, the thing is, I already see you got 4 of those engines in the yard here. I think you and I should just do a straight-up deal.
Listen, you know what? You seem like a straight-up guy, Steve. You got it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's do this. We'll go right
Fantastic.
in. Score, straight-up swap. Our chassis for his engine, and I'm not even going in my pocket. Come to me a little more. Perfect. Beauty.
Pitbull's finally making headway on the build.
All right,
Gonna
man.
work like a champ.
All right, good luck to you.
Back at the shop, Leepu and Adam are hard at work. The top half of the boat-inspired nose is shaped. Now they can start on the bottom.
We're gonna put another plate. It will come right up here, right? And then front nose.
And for once, Leepu's not just concerned about looks.
This is gonna be a very sharp nose because of the aerodynamics. The tip of the nose deflects the air just like that, and the car goes fast.
This is the 6th car fabricator Adam has built with Leepu, but the first time he's watched him design a race car.
I feel like I'm looking at a new Leepu. In the beginning, Leepu's all about the look. Who cares about performance? Now he's concerned about aerodynamics and the performance of the car.
It's looking good, man. It's looking good. What do you think?
Sick, man. You're a genius. I mean, look at this freaking thing. Looks like a freaking bullet.
Leepu's making progress on his boat-inspired design, but the mechanics are still waiting on Pitbull's engine, so they can plow ahead with their mission to restore the 1966 Chevy Biscayne to its former glory.
How could you not want to keep this car? It's a classic. You gotta fix this thing.
I just want to make sure the floor's not rotted.
The crew put the 50-year-old classic on the inspection ramp to see what they've got to work with. And they're starting with the brakes.
We're checking out these wheel cylinders. As a mechanic, you're not used to seeing products that say USA on them. It's just nice to see that. You don't see that all the time. For what we're gonna do with it, these brakes are gonna be fine.
But at the front, it's a different story.
On these front brakes here, we have a bad wheel cylinder. You can see it's just oozing rusty brake fluid out. That's a fail. We're gonna have to replace that.
After decades of neglect, the brake fluid isn't even fluid anymore.
Oh my God, dude, that's bad.
I popped the cap on the brake reservoir. I'm expecting to see brake fluid, but what I see is, I don't know, slime.
It's like brake sludge.
It turned into grease.
The brakes are definitely gonna need some work. We're gonna have to probably replace everything hydraulic on the whole car.
The hive of activity around the Biscayne brings Leepu over from the Cutlass.
What's going on? All the guys are working on a wrong car. The Cutlass will never get done in time. Steve must get back here right now.
Leepu's 10 days into the 4-week race car customization of an '87 Cutlass.
It's looking good, man. It's looking good.
But with no sign of Pitbull, mechanical work on the car hasn't even started.
The Cutlass will never get done in time. Steve must get back here to work.
But Pitbull's finally ready to pull the trigger on his side of the build. And he's back at the shop with his Chevy 5.3 engine.
What you got?
Oh, I got just a junkyard special.
That's awesome.
Sweet. Let's slide her out now.
Pitbull's plan is to turbo boost his engine from 300 to 600 horsepower. But first, he must prepare it to handle double the horses. The crews start by cleaning the junkyard motor.
Everything runs better when there's less dirt.
Then they install larger injectors to double the fuel flow. And a custom camshaft that will allow the turbo to push more air into the cylinder and burn that extra fuel.
Wow, look at that. Oh, transmission's looking good.
Finally, a racing transmission.
That's what I'm talking about.
Pitbull's engine parts cost him $2,200.
But you're not in, you know.
With another $800 set aside for a turbo, he plans to bring the cost of his 600 horsepower build in at just $3 grand.
You know, I really like these 5.3 liter builds. It's like $5 a horsepower. It does not get any cheaper than that.
It's time to finally give the Cutlass its engine.
Let's get this thing cooking, man. We're running out of time here. Let's get in the car.
And Leepu's happy to remove his nose and give Pitbull room to work.
Put him on that. Yeah. All right.
All right, man. Let's get this in. Fit it in the hole.
Take it on up.
Watch the mud, Steve.
Pitbull took nearly 2 weeks to deliver on his engine promise,
She's in.
Fits like a glove.
but he installs it in minutes.
All right, everything looks good.
All right.
And the Cutlass is ready for turbo boost.
Brake. Once we get all that power in there, it's gonna be a pretty badass car.
But just as the mechanical build is on track, Pitbull heads back to his boat. His $1,000 race is 3 days away. And with him neglecting the Cutlass once again, it's left to Leepu and fabricator Mark to pick up the pieces of the build and finish the front of the race car.
Let's do the headlights.
All right.
Leepu designs by hand and never measures. When he needs a hole for headlights,
This is the square.
he uses a cardboard box.
I need a right angle, that's all.
Leepu, I'm pretty sure our definitions of a square are totally different.
This is 90 degree. Everything in the world has a line. Doesn't matter if it's man-made or nature. It's lines everywhere. It works for me, I draw it.
That looks good. That looks like a 90-degree angle.
Exactly.
That's what you're after?
That's what I'm after.
And when Leepu needs a curve for his front grille, a dig around Pitbull's junk finds just the shape he's after. But despite his unusual way of working, Leepu is designing his nose with horsepower in mind.
More horses, more heat. So we have to have good ventilation so that it cools down the radiator as well as the engine. This car is a race car. Nose is done.
Personally, I think Leepu nailed it with this design.
The Cutlass is looking like a race car. To drive like one, it's going to need mechanics. But the crew are busy on their own pet project. And instead of restoring the Biscayne's bodywork, they've decided to preserve it and turn it into a rat rod.
This is a big thing now across the country is rat rods. They'll buy a car and they'll try to age it like this. They'll get a torch, they'll burn the paint, they'll scrape it off. It's a lot of work to get a car to look like this, what Mother Nature already did to this one.
Give me a paint can over here.
Oh, yeah, brother.
The crew seal in the rust with clear coat.
Look at that, radical.
This layer of see-through paint stops the rot and ensures the Biscayne will look 50 years old for the rest of its life.
I love this car. The fact that it didn't get painted and ruined makes it way better. I wish it was mine.
Brian, this car would really look good in your driveway.
It would look fantastic in my driveway.
If I brought this home, I'd be in divorce court.
With the last touch of clear coat,
I don't see how Steve can't love this. This is fabulous.
the ratted bodywork on the mechanic's pride and joy is complete. Pitbull's own project is ready too, and he's taking it out for a test drive.
Here's the moment of truth, the day I've been waiting for. Taking a boat for a real ride.
He's even dragged Leepu away from the Cutlass to be his co-pilot.
Come on. We should be really working on the car. So after all this effort, this boat better run like a dream.
You know, I think Leepu really would rather be at the shop building the car.
Hey!
The reality is, he's digging this. He's all about it.
That was good.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
With the showdown in 2 days, this is Pitbull's only chance to run his modifications at race speeds.
Whoa!
Pitbull's rival's boat can already top 100 miles per hour. And if he's to stand a chance, his boat must break the 100 barrier too.
We're coming up to the speed zone, straight ahead, and then it's go time. You ready?
Yeah. Let's
Ready
go.
to rock and roll?
Rock and roll.
Here we go. This is it. Yeah, baby, yeah.
Pitbull floors it. And in seconds, he's flying.
40. 50.
He powers past 60.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is it right here, baby. Whoa! Whoa! I got no throttle.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
Pitbull's boat cuts out, 20 miles per hour short of its target 100.
Felt like the gas pedal just gave up on me. Oh, man.
It's just 48 hours until Pitbull goes up against rival Dave in a $1,000 boat race bet.
Felt like the gas pedal just gave up on me. Oh, man.
But halfway through the all-important test drive, he's broken down.
So I'm stepping on the gas pedal. Nothing's happening.
Pitbull's put everything on hold, including Dave's 20 grand car build, in order to win the race. Now, he's back to square one, and Leepu's had enough.
Oh, this is bad. I just want him to get over with and get back to the real job building cars.
Oh! The bracket broke.
The bracket that connects the throttle cable to the engine has broken.
We can't go fast.
Oh.
We got to drive home like this now.
It's going to be a long ride home.
It will take overnight to get there in this speed.
The next morning, with the race looming, Pitbull has more work to do on the boat.
All right, so what I'm replacing is this throttle bracket here. Now, I got a new one on. I'm not going to have any more problems with the throttle.
Back at the shop, the mechanics have one more thing to add before the Biscayne is ready to hit the city streets.
Becker, bring me some wheels!
We got these cool new wheels to put on here. We found them in the back of the shop and we threw some old tires on them. It'll give it a cool rat rodding kind of look.
But one person definitely not excited about the Biscayne's debut ride is Leepu.
Steve spending time with his boat. These guys are working there on the projects. Our main project, Cutlass, is sitting down doing nothing, and Dave is gonna go mad.
The crew have spent over a week fixing up the Biscayne. It's time for them to hit the road and test drive their passion project.
See you later, Leepu! Adios! See you later!
I have nothing to say. I'm speechless. There's no organization. I'm just left alone.
Woo!
A little bit of pep in the step.
The crew are loving their new ride.
Can't believe this thing is running as well as it is right now.
This car's sweet. People are definitely looking at this car.
The Biscayne Rat Rod is turning heads, and the crew have certainly designed Pitbull Motors' most unusual custom car. The mechanics have sealed in decades of rust to preserve the '66 Chevrolet Biscayne's 50-year-old survivor looks. Classic 1970s torque thrust wheels complete its rat rod styling. And under the hood, its Never Say Die 250 cubic inch straight six completes this indestructible piece of history.
I can't get over how smooth this car is, how nice it brakes.
I think that we're gonna have like a custody battle for this car.
I know, right?
The crew are so impressed with their new ride, they've decided to pitch in and buy the car from Pitbull.
We're gonna love it and keep it for a company car. Every day at lunch, me and the guys will be piling on this thing, taking it for some ice cream.
I'll take an espresso bean sundae.
With the Biscayne fixed up and the boat race tomorrow, the crew's thoughts turn to the unfinished Cutlass that lies waiting for them.
Yeah, we haven't done anything to this car yet.
No.
We're gonna have to work twice as hard. I think now that this ice cream's over, the buck stops here.
Whether Steve wins or loses that boat race, it's going to be us who's paying the price to get that Cutlass done on time.
But before Pitbull can get back to work on the Cutlass, he still has a race to win. In 14 hours, he goes head-to-head with Dave on the water. And he's splurged on a brand new part that he believes might just clinch the race.
You know, Dave's boat and mine are very evenly matched. The race being tomorrow, I want to do anything I can right now just to get that little extra edge.
This $1,300 carburetor could add crucial extra horsepower.
This here is a Holly Dominator 1350 CFM. This is how the engine gets its fuel. You step on the gas gets pumped into it and gets fed into the engine. The bigger the carburetor, the more fuel, which is going to give me just a little extra power and torque.
And in a race this close, those extra horses could just win the day.
Just enough to do what I have to do to Dave. That's beat him. Tomorrow's kick Dave's ass day.
It's the morning of the boat race. Pitbull and Leepu tow their new boat to the $1,000 showdown with Dave.
I can't wait to get to the ramp and see Dave's face when he sees me pull up with this boat.
Pitbull's 900 horsepower customization should, in theory, top 100 miles an hour. But he believes acceleration is his secret weapon.
You know, Dave and I are very evenly matched. You know, his has more top end, but I think mine has more acceleration. So it's gonna be tight.
Steve spent so much time on that boat. He better be winning. He better be winning and take the cash and go back to the garage, work on the car.
A mile away at the dock, Dave's speed machine is already in the water.
As you can see, it's a catamaran-style hull. Packs a lot of air under that boat, less resistance. It's a twin-engine boat, 2 outboards, 300 horsepower each, a lot more stable in the water. I know Steve, he thinks he's just the fastest thing going, whether it's on land, water, but we're gonna show him a thing or two.
But Dave and son Daniel are about to be hustled.
That ain't the same boat, is it? Yeah, that's definitely a different boat. Let's see what he's trying to pull now. So what do you got here now?
Got my boat.
Your boat?
This ain't your regular boat.
That ain't your boat.
Hey, listen, we made a deal. We raced my boat against your boat. Well, guess
right.
what? At that time, that was my boat.
All right, no matter what he's done to that boat, no matter how much money he's spent, I'm still the better driver. I'm still gonna kick his ass. Let's get this show on the road.
With $1,000 and his pride at stake, Pitbull's boat hits the water. Now all that's left is to decide the course.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We'll have Leepu sound the horn. Sound good?
Right.
We'll start at this buoy right here. We'll go to this buoy that's down here. It's about a mile long. First one there wins. No questions asked.
The narrow channel is the perfect flat water drag course. From the start mark at the beginning of the channel, it's exactly 1 mile to the finish buoy.
Ready?
Ready?
Let's get going.
Let the better boat win.
All right. about to start the race. I'm thinking, if this boat breaks down again, we're screwed.
All right, Steve, you ready to get a whooping?
Yeah, I'm ready. Not for a whooping, but I'm ready to count your money.
Yeah, you've been counted before you give it to me.
Haha, I didn't even bring her with me.
The two rival powerboats edge close to the start line.
Ready!
Pitbull makes a flying start. And as he predicted, the torque from his 900 horsepower motor quickly leaves Dave eating his weight.
Yeah, you passed it! You passed it! You passed it! Oh my God! So much power! We're going so fast! Go!
Quarter of a mile down the course, and Pitbull and Leepu are still accelerating away. As they approach the halfway mark, Pitbull's speed levels out, and Dave closes in. 400 yards from the finish line, with both boats topping 100 miles an hour. It's neck and neck.
You got it! You got it! You got it! Dave is just going behind us!
Hey, it's awfully close.
You got it! You got it!
They're on top of the finishing buoy.
Go!
Pitbull and Leepu pass first, by a hair.
We won!
Baby!
Yes!
Somebody owes you $1,000.
Probably another 50 yards, I would have went right past them.
Race over. The two rivals return to the dock for Pitbull's payday.
Hey, you know what? You gave a valiant effort. It was close.
This is what you're looking for, right?
That's right, baby. It's time to pay up. The look on his face is priceless.
It's yours. You earned it. You can have it.
Pitbull takes his rivals $1,000, but he's a long way from delivering Dave's 20 grand car.
Just remember, you got less than 3 weeks to have that car finished. We need that.
Dude, it's gonna be done.
Now this is out of Steve's system. We can get to work on the Cutlass.
All right, man,
All right.
listen. Enjoy the boat ride home. All right?
We will.
Take care. See you later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have his money in my hand and his pride in my pocket. I'm gonna get back to that shop. We're gonna work double time to knock his car out. It's back to business.
Next time, race season's coming and the guys have to finish Dave's drag car.
That's barely an engine.
Smoke!
Turn it off, smoke!
And they face losing their 20 grand payday.
If this car doesn't run 990, it's on a house.
We'll ruin us. You don't ruin the whole business.
I have everything in check.